All right, this is the first of a 5-part series going through the Hour of Code tutorials. Now, I will have some materials linked in the description. Now, the main thing that this series will assume is that you already have an Unreal Engine account. You've already signed up, you already downloaded it and installed it, and that's all fairly straightforward. That's not really the point of this tutorial, but I will have this linked in the description, as well as this, which will be the main thing we're focusing on here. Here we're going to learn how to build your first 3D game, and we're starting with learning collision detection in Unreal Engine. So, in order to set yourself up so that you have this project, what you're going to do is you're going to select Unreal Engine once you've downloaded and have everything installed. You're going to go to the marketplace. Then you are going to look up Hour of Code. Spelled properly, of course. Now you're going to go here. And you're going to hit Create Project. Now I'm going to make a new project. I do not want it in this folder though. That is on my C drive. I do not want that. Oh, yeah, let's go Unreal Engine projects, sure. And then we will name it Code 01. Okay. I'll create it right here, creating it alongside with you. It'll take a second. I might skip ahead here. Now, one thing that I found out while I was doing this previously, because this is actually not my first pass at this, I did a dry run, is make sure you do not accidentally have the project open multiple times. If you have the project open and you don't notice you also have the project open somewhere else, you won't be able to save any of your assets and you'll get a weird error. So I'm going to close this. It is not something that will automatically pop up. You have to go to Library, and right here the project will populate. Now I'm going to double click it one time. Don't accidentally click it too many times or have it open on accident. And while it's loading, I will be using the most current version of Unreal Engine, 4.26.1. Let's get this out of the way. Now we only got one open. Okay, good. Let's get rid of this. I don't plan on using that. Just don't want that there the entire time. Now we're going to go through this together. I'm not going to go through the entire sheet, but I will try and read aloud or try and point out things that seem important. So let's review the interface. Now, when you first open your project, you might have the content browser collapsed. You're going to want to open it. It's very important. Make sure you can save. Okay. Now, we're going to change the color of two folders so they stand out a little more. The Hour of Code folder, and the third-person BP folder. Now, if you right-click and you go to Set Color, let's just make that. You know what? I don't want to use this same color. I kind of want a purple. A little darker though. Yeah. Let's go for that. Okay. Now, this is the Place Actors panel. It contains assets like lights, which will illuminate your scene, trigger volumes, which will trigger something to happen. And it can also, if you're missing a window, like say I close this and I'm like, I don't know how to get it back. You go to Window and hit Place Actors. And then you should have it right there. It'll also, the content browser will contain any assets that you import. And this is the content browser down here. This is the Place Actors panel. This will contain stuff you import, and this will be stuff that's just native to Unreal. actors is a term that's usually used to identify objects or elements that are in the level. I suppose it's technically used to identify people in film and TV, but for our purposes, it's a more general term used in the context of your Unreal Engine projects. We're going to be doing most of our work in the viewport. This is the large area in the middle of the screen where you will place assets from the content browser. Now, some kind of basic controls here. If you hold the left mouse button and you drag around, you can get some movement that way. But the one that I get the most usage out of personally is if you hold down right click, you can WASD. You can also adjust the speed which the camera moves. Right up here, if you think you're going a little too fast, we'll slow it down a little bit. It's going to be a little more precise. If you want to quickly get somewhere all the way over there, you can click something far away, hit F, want to get back, F again. So there's a lot of ways you can move around in the scene. You can also zoom by just scrolling. Just like that. So that's just a scroll wheel. So if you're very familiar, or even faintly familiar, with how to play like first-person shooters or anything like that, you'll totally get navigation in here. Now we're going to open the Levels panel, which is Window, Levels. It is already open, and it is up here in the top right. If something has an eye on it, that means it's visible. If it does not have the eye on it, it means it's not visible. So if you'll notice, they've actually hidden a sample of how to do it. It's like if I hit this, I don't think the collision is on it. It might be though, I'm not sure. Let's find out real quick. Nope, okay. So that is just kind of to see like a preview of what something could look like. I am not going to use what's already there though, but if you did want to quickly and easily hide something, that is something you can do. And let's keep going down. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the details panel while we're here. I'm going to close this here because I want to just have these two. Swap that. There we go. So the details panel has everything you'd possibly would want to know about an object. Where is it located in the world? Is it rotated? What size is it? Is it static, which means it's not moving? Is it movable? What mesh is it using? Like what makes it look the way it looks? What material is on it? Everything you'd ever would want to know about something is here. Now, if you want to look and know about settings about the whole world and everything around you, you would click World Settings. Now, there's something important we're going to set here later. Well, let's just do it while we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. For these activities, we're going to be working primarily in just what's here. We're not going to use the end. We're going to add our own stuff and do it ourselves. If you want, you can take a second to play, but since I already hopped in and showed you there's no collision, I'm going to move ahead and talk a little bit about collision detection. Now, collision detection is just basically logic that says what will collide with what. So if you want to maybe have an invisible wall, or if you want to have it like a fake wall, you could either add or not have a collision on something, but generally you don't want to have it, they can feel bad. You don't want to jump for a platform and have your player fall through. That doesn't feel good for anybody. So in order to find, I need to know where this actor is so that every platform that's like it has collision. So I'm going to control and click. That's not the shortcut. That is how to unselect it. But if I right click, I can hit Browse to Asset. There we go. I can also hit Control E if I have it highlighted, and it will open up the editor. Now you may think, as I did before, oh, I'll just go here, add simple collision. That can work, but we're not going to mess with that. We're going to use exactly what the tutorial says for now. we're gonna go to collision up here, and we are going to add the 10dp-z simplified collision. And if you'll notice, the same camera controls work in here, although the speed's a little high, so you might want to use I believe 3D editing controls, or if you hold down Alt and then move your left mouse, you can move around. But if you look, the green lines are there, and it has collision. Now, right now, just because we added the collision doesn't mean the change has taken place. I'm going to add the collision and then hit save. And the reason why you don't want an exact collision a lot of the time, and this will come back when we're looking at our character, is because that's very expensive for the computer. You don't want to have a big toll on the computer. So we'll save this. I'll close this. And if you wanted to take a look at what the collision on the player looks like, we'll back up a little bit. You can pull them out. And if you look, I need to turn on collision view in the browser. Now, how do I do that? I believe it's Alt and C, which turns on collision view, but there's also some more options here as well. For now, I'm going to use Alt and C. If you look, it's mostly cylinders. It's not like an exact one for one, like his feet don't have an exact going on right down there. So we're going to untoggle that for now. I'm going to delete this from my scene. You'll still be able to play, you're just deleting the actor you just threw in the scene. So don't worry about it. All right. And if you wanted to show collision, that is in here. If you wanted to do that again. It's not even lit, it's under right here. So let's test out that the collision worked before we move on to the next step. Did it work? Nice. Okay. I'm going to move the platform a little bit. Actually, it doesn't look too bad with it stuck in there, so I'll leave it in there. Makes it look like an accident or something. So I'm actually going to match it up over on the other side. So I'm going to click on the platform, and you'll notice these arrows, right? And if you hit there we go. We're just gonna hit Alt actually. Keep it simple. So I selected the red arrow, I dragged it out with Alt, and that duplicates it. And because it's a duplicate, we don't have to make collision for each one, because that would be a lot of work, and ain't nobody got time for that, right? So let's just make it get across. I'm not fully sold on this gap yet. Let's take a look though. All right, there we go. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if I jump too late or I overshoot and I wind up down here? Well, we're gonna add a volume to deal with that right now, because you want to avoid any scenario where a player could get stuck. That's not fun for anybody. So in order to handle failed attempts, we're going to go up to the Place Actors panel in the top left. Look up Pain Causing Volume. Let's make that a little wider. Second. I'm gonna leave in. So just to kind of know what I'm doing with these shortcuts, and it says in the guide as well, I'm hitting R because W changes the arrows for movement, so I can move it up, down, left, right, depending on what arrow I grab. If you grab in the middle, you can kind of control everything at once. E would let me rotate it. I do not want to rotate here, so I'm not going to do that. But if I did, I'd grab this or this. And R lets me scale it. I want to scale it because I need it to take up more space. So Let's just kind of make that bigger. Make sure it doesn't go too far out here. Sweet. Now, while we're at it, we're going to add in one last thing to kind of detect falling into the void. Because right now, if I go up here, and I want to just spawn over here, by the way, I can hit current camera location. It'll spawn me here. The game does not know by default that you don't want to just keep falling forever, right? So, let's hit F, get back up there nice and quickly. Yeah, okay. So we're going to handle that in just a second by going to World Settings. There's a little arrow right here. And you want to hit Enable World Bounds Check. Then you're going to put Z to -500. And that means if they are -500 below what the 0 is, they'll die. And obviously you can change this to fit your needs. But now, if I jumped across, I would die. So, we are almost there with this exercise. I can jump across. Do I die? I do. It puts me all the way back to the beginning. Now I've got one more thing to test. Alright, sweet. Now let's wrap up this first hour of code by adding a couple platforms. And we're going to do the game design fun section where we make an invisible bridge. Now in order to do that, we just need to find the platforms. I believe they're under static meshes. There we go. Drag one into the scene. I'm actually going to up my camera speed now that I'm moving around a little bit more. There we go. Okay. We want to go here. So we're going to add two paths. Give the player a little bit of choice right there. So that's just, and obviously take any liberties you want to here, right? This is purely creative. Let's make it a little, you don't want to, a little boring, right? Let's make it exciting. Okay. This is just a starter thing, so we don't need to go too crazy. Try not to make any weird overlap. And depending on the area or type of area you're trying to decide on making, it can be worth trying to think if the player can make it back as well. So we hit play. Can we get across? Ooh. We can. First gauntlet down. And now I'm going to show you how to do the bonus section. And feel free to do this any way you want. I'm just going to show you a little bit how to do it. Let's drag some more actors in. You could probably reuse some, but adjust the angle. Let's flip it. I'm even going to put one on top. You know why? Because I feel like it. Make it really... Let's do that. Yeah. There we go. Throw one more right there. Nope, nope. Don't want to do that. There we go. Make sure you can get back. That's part of how you want to design it. Currently, you could jump back if you wanted. I'm not overlapping. Am I overlapping? These don't look too bad if they go into each other, though. Right. I will descale this a little, though. A little smaller, yeah. Yeah, it looks a little better. Let's double check that you can jump up. Character doesn't jump very high. Okay, good. One thing that could be worth a consideration, and something I personally always really enjoy, is adding a double jump later, but that is beyond the scope of this activity. Now, the name of the object that we need to find is called, what is it called? What is it called? Blocking volume. Now, a blocking volume will make sure that when our character jumps, they don't just die on this bridge. So make sure they can get to it. Make sure if they jump on it, they can get back as well. Unless you don't want to for your design. But personally, I feel like being able to go back through your platforming gauntlet will make it more fun. Maybe if you had coins, you don't want to be like, oh dang, I forgot a coin and now I can't get it because I didn't think ahead. Make it wide enough. This is invisible, so if it goes into your thing, it's whatever. And then I'm just gonna kind of grab this actor over here, duplicate it. And I think that should work. I'm gonna make it very close. Yeah, very close. Let's run a quick lap around our course. Jump. Jump. You notice we're on the bridge. Yeah, okay. I should probably make the bridge a little easier to jump off of. Because the only reason I was able to even land on that, almost, is because I knew it was there. But you have to remember, whoever's playing your level will not have the same knowledge you do, right? So I'm actually going to add this right here for a little more generosity in case they don't make it. I don't want to make an unfun path, right? Rotate. We'll see what it looks like when the stuff is in together. And we'll add, this one's already flat, so let's just do this. Actually, it's a little too big though. Rotate. Oh, that looks weird. Not bad, just weird. Honestly, have some fun with it. Go with what you want, or what sounds fun. This looks a little harder to fail, in my opinion. I'm not immediately sure how I like that, but let's see. So from up here, and playtesting is an important part of designing anything. So you can't get back, right? this up. Oh, that doesn't look great, does it? That could just be the angle. Still can't get back, huh? He's really not that high of a jumper, is he? Alright, take 3. Hey! Or is it hard? No, it's very easy to jump on. If I run to this, I can jump on, jump on. Check vice versa. Sweet. Ooh, okay. Feel free to adjust as you wish. This is just a very simple guide on how to set up. I'm gonna take a quick peek again through it. So in this activity, you learned about the content browser to kind of just summarize everything up. Learned about the content browser where everything that's imported lives. You learned you can color folders. You learned about actors, which are objects inside the level. How to move around, which is the right click primarily, in my opinion. Everybody's welcome to their own though. Alt also works here. If you hold down Alt and rotate, very useful. If you want to show or hide something, you hit the eye. It'll show new stuff. Details about an object will live here. Just changes depending on what you click. Settings about your entire world will live there. You can play from either the selected viewport, well, usually. You can simulate your level. We're not going to talk about that right now. That's outside the scope of this lesson. I want to keep this nice and short. But most of the time, if you're taking direct control, you'll spawn a current camera location or the default player start. You learned about collision, and let's pop this open. You notice, where's the collision on this one? All right, we'll cut this part. We'll cut this part. I don't know how to see the collision on this one. Collision? You show me? Oh wait, show. Okay. If I hit this, it shows a collision. The collision's already there. This just shows it. Okay. Maybe I won't cut that. It shows I'm still learning too. And you know, I hope that this helps somebody get interested into it. And if not, it's been very helpful in me getting a better handle on the engine and kind of hopping back into things. We learned about hitboxes, duplication, how to handle if someone dies. And that's pretty much kind of a TLDR of everything you learned here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Part 2, I plan on releasing very soon. So stay tuned. I plan on doing all 5 parts. I do not expect the other 4 to be as easy. Part 2 won't be too bad because I've already done a bit of a warm-up. But you're going to get a little bit of a view of me as I'm learning it with 3 through 5. So stay tuned, and if you want to see more, like and subscribe. It'd be appreciated. Thank you.